Well, you couldn't be good if you've never been bad. You couldn't keep cool if you've never gone mad. You couldn't be glum if you've never been glad. And lemons give you lemonade. If you don't do the work, you'll never get paid. If you don't have the crowd, there's no parade. It may be trite, and I know it's cliched, but lemons give you lemonade. The glass is half full of sweet champagne. Some say it's half empty, what do they know? Why would you whine about the rain when you could lose yourself inside a rainbow? Without the climb, you don't get the view. Without the crime, you won't have a clue. There is no rhapsody without the blue, and lemons give you lemonade. Champagne. Some say it's half empty, what do they know? If you keep whining about the rain, how you ever gonna see the rainbow? Somebody's pain is somebody's pleasure. Somebody's trash is somebody's treasure. Somebody's ugly is somebody's lovely. And lemons give you lemonade.
Good evening. I'm Charles Cohen, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you to Pacific Design Center's Westweek 2021 virtual kickoff event. Westweek looks a little different this year, but we still have 2 exceptional days of programming in store for you. Be sure to view our live videos and pre-recorded show of events, including 7 compelling keynotes available to you on demand beginning tomorrow. This year's theme is Silver Linings and Optimism 2021. The year was far from easy, but we've maintained our sense of community and the design industry is thriving. Tonight, I hope you get to network and socialize with friends and colleagues you've been missing. Please take the next 2 days for inspiration and education, and I look forward to seeing everyone in person again soon. Enjoy the party and have some fun.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maria Hughes, the Director of Digital Marketing for the Pacific Design Center. It's an honor to be here tonight. Thank you for joining us to help kick off Virtual Westweek 2021. I look forward to seeing you all soon and in person at the Pacific Design Center. Without further ado, it's a great pleasure to introduce to you Genevieve Trousdale, the founder of Circaphiles. Genevieve, take it away.
Thank you, Maria. Good evening, design community. I am your co-host for this evening, and I'm overjoyed to welcome you here tonight to kick off Westweek. Fostering community, connectivity, growth, and education are all core tenets of Circaphiles, all in an effort to reinvigorate this industry with integrity and professionalism. We are a design network unlike any other. Now brace yourself for a productive and fun night. Jill, can you shake this party up? Everyone, please meet Jill Siraki, the managing editor of Gallery Magazine.
Thank you, Genevieve. I am thrilled to be kicking off Westweek 2021 with a Silver Linings cocktail mixer and inaugural toast. So please follow along as we craft tonight's signature cocktail, a Paloma, the recipe which is listed in the chat box, or pour a drink of your own and join us in many toasts coming up this evening. I am joined by a pretty incredible group of designers and architects this evening, starting with award-winning architect Stephen Ehrlich of EYRC Architects and Monica Heifelfinger of X10 Architecture, and adored interior designers Cesar Geraldo of Cesar Geraldo Designs and Janice Barta of Barta Interiors. And last but not least, we have the host of the segment, Russ Diamond of Snyder Diamond. So to start it off, we are going to go over to Janice. And if anyone follows Janice on Instagram, you will know she is a wonderful cook and her feed is filled with just delicious dishes. So Janice, what should our audience be prepping for the Paloma cocktail?
Well, I'm all prepped up here because I like to be really organized with my beverages and food prep. So we got a glass. We got some ice. I usually make a simple syrup out of honey. You can do sugar as well, but I like honey because it's a little smoother, a little bit less sweet. So I did that. So you just do half part water to honey, boil it, simmer it, let it cool. Grapefruit juice, first squeezed. Lime juice, first squeezed. Club soda and tequila. Yeah. That's everything. Should we do a little demo?
Absolutely. Let's start mixing.
Okay. I already put some ice in here. But I'll save these for my drink. Put in, let's see, tequila, 2 ounces. I usually am a heavy pourer. Let's see, 2 ounces, more like 3. Okay. Then it's about 3/4 of an ounce of grape juice, but I like a little bit more. I think it makes it look a little bit more pink, pretty. I like that. I like the fruit. Lime juice, same thing. I like the little bit of the tang. I love a margarita, so I'll put a little bit extra, probably more like an ounce. And then the honey simple syrup. Same little splash, a little bit less than that. I don't like things too sweet. Okay. Okay, and shake it up.
Beautiful cocktail shaker.
I didn't even know I had this really. Couldn't find my other one. Let's see. Ice cubes. All right. 4. And then splash with club soda. I got my pre-sliced. Oh, I should have put a little bit of salsa on the rim, but I didn't. But it'll still be delicious.
So what is your silver lining that we are going to drink to this evening?
I have so many silver linings from this year. I mean, I feel like that I just being stuck here and a change of pace and, you know, working from home, and I've been able to be with my son more and just appreciate slowing down. I am constantly moving. I'm constantly doing stuff. And I think moving forward, I'm really going to just enjoy every little moment. Work, home life, everything. I think I'm a little bit more in touch with every little thing that matters to me. So that's my silver lining.
Cool. And I mean, you've got a very beautiful space to enjoy your time. I am enhanced by your kitchen. I love that.
Thank you.
we are going to have another drink while we're going, and we are going to go over to Cesar, and you are from your office.
Let's shake this party.
Woo! And I've heard that you are going to be pouring a favorite whiskey, which
Yes, it's Suntory. It's Japanese because I have a bad throat right now because I've been talking too much. But, and I don't drink mixed drinks. I only drink whiskey and red wine. And Raz knows that because Raz and I have shared a few bottles together. So.
Yes, we have.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for making me a part of this great gathering. And again, this is my Suntory whiskey. And I'm enjoying here my whiskey in the presence of our beautiful friend Inez, which you know hear later. But so I guess I can jump into my silver lining story.
yes, please.
Correct. Okay. So I this year, of course, during COVID, we had no clue what Zoom was. So then I booked a very big job in Hawaii. And usually I love to be present. I love to be, on top of it. I love to touch it. I love to feel it. I'm very hands-on. And then, okay, we need to do this through Zoom. And then what is Zoom? So getting to the whole thing of Zoom and actually paying attention to this entire production, which is a Zoom meeting, it's fascinating that a year ago, I had no clue what Zoom was. So I was terrified that I was gonna do a house in Oahu. I'm in Los Angeles. I could not go there. I could not see anything. All the meetings went through Zoom. That felt like hell. I felt like it was, in the panic of obviously if you fly, you're gonna get it. If you come out of your house, you're gonna get it. So that was, I think, it was very scary. And obviously, it's a new client, very specific, very demanding, very nice guy. Love him to death. We have become great friends. He sends me pounds of coffee every other week. And so in the house came out very beautiful. So going through that process, it was painful. It was quite dark in moments, but now I am celebrating today because we're almost done. Yes.
Congratulations. And, I've heard you've got a new collection coming as well. What else is going on with you?
Yes. I started a collaboration with Tideli, a company out of Brazil, and it's for an outdoor line. And it's actually ready. It should be ready in a month. We should launch it in a month. And it's quite beautiful and very colorful. It's called Medellin. I'm doing it with another designer who happens to be from Mexico City, Sani Hayek. And his is called Veracruz. His man is called Medellin. And we call it the Latina collection. So we just went to Brazil in the midst of it. And we shot amazing, great videos, lots of photography. So we should be able to share with everyone in about a month or so. But mine is very colorful because it is based, I'm from Medellin, Colombia, and every August we have the Festival of the Flowers, which is, and the men who carry the flowers, they use a chair in their back. And so they come from the Santa Ynez Mountains outside Medellin, and they come from to downtown Medellin. And it's a huge, as big as the Rose Bowl parade. It's huge, huge. And so my inspiration was on that because they bring the flowers from the mountain, they sell it in downtown Medellin, and they go back to their homes with food and goods. So that was my inspiration. So my collection is super colorful. It's all about brightness. It's also my roots. It's who I am. It's my personality. Is what I think when I get up every morning. It's about yes, 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 yes. If there is a no, I give you 1,000 yes, and cheers to you. Yes.
Well, cheers. We could all enjoy a little bit more color going into 2021. So cheers to that.
Cheers. Cheers.
So Monica, why don't you tell us, what are you mixing?
Okay, well, first I want to say hi, Cesar. Nice to see
Hello,
you.
Monica.
Hi, everybody. So I'm here actually with my partner, Scott Otherstrom, and we're standing in my kitchen. And I would say silver lining is, okay, Scott is going to make this amazing Paloma cocktail. Got everything ready. I don't know if you want to do it before or after.
I think it's very similar to Janice's,
Yeah.
and she did a great job. So I started to give time here, but I will just continue.
So yeah, if you guys want to do, you probably had one with Janice, and then you had a shot with Cesar. So now you're reloading with another Paloma, everybody. That's what we're doing.
We're refreshing the palate.
So yeah, as he's mixing in, why don't you tell us a little bit about your kitchen? I understand all of your construction is brand new there.
Yes, so that would be my personal silver lining. My kids and I moved into the house that I designed the last couple of years, right before COVID. So it was really nice just to be in a new space, have a little bit more room for the kids. They're in high school. Yeah, we're enjoying our time together.
Well, great. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying some time, enjoying some cocktails in your beautiful kitchen.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you can see this, what Scott is preparing here. He's adding a Janice, maybe you have something like that as well, but
Love
the
it.
nice detail that Scott is bringing to the table here.
We replaced the salt with a little.
Oh yes, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave it to a panel of designers to all interpret something totally different, all equally wonderful and beautiful. So Stephen, let's see, how is your cocktail coming along?
Well, I have all the ingredients right there. And the secret to my cocktail is that there are no measurements. You just make it. Okay, tequila. You can put in, a healthy amount. And then we squeeze some grapefruit in there. I'm squeezing it in my eyes as well. Some lime. And let's see what else. And we'll put in a little more grapefruit. I don't know if you can see this. There we go. More grapefruit. And okay, let's shake it up. You can tell I am not a professional. Pour it in, but voila.
Beautiful.
Mint.
Beautiful.
That's the twist, mint. Okay, there we go. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, Stephen. That looks great.
And our last but certainly not least, Russ, you are broadcasting from the newest showroom location in the Valley, and you're giving our audience a sneak peek there. Tell us a little bit about the new showroom.
Well, it's a reload of our North Hollywood. We've relocated to Van Nuys. We're probably about 60 days from actually opening the doors, but we're sitting here in the newest, we're in our Sub-Zero Wolf Cove Design Center. This is the first iteration of their new concept, kind of a showroom within a showroom here in our Snyder Diamond Van Nuys. And we are just looking forward to getting this finally open. It's been a long haul with COVID and everything else.
And it's beautiful. We can't wait to be able to show it off to you in person.
Well, I'm sure everyone really looks forward to the time when we can come and visit in person. So I think you have a wine for us to toast with. So tell me about that.
We have a 2017 Hall Cab, which is a great light, wine. And so here, and I just wanted to tell everybody, I miss you all. Some of my favorite people in the whole world I'm looking at right here. And so I just want to make a quick toast to our resilient community. And let's hoping for a successful post-pandemic 2021 and the opportunity to cling our glasses together in person real soon. And I also wanted to, we saw a lot of photographs of our good friend Rocky. So, you know, I just want to express a lot of love and remember, a heartfelt remembrance of Rocky. Miss you, buddy. And l'chaim, everybody.
Cheers.
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 Well, thank you, everyone. This has really been so much fun having a drink with everyone. I know I probably speak for a lot of everyone when I say how much I miss having a social drink with colleagues and friends. Now the producers will be sending us all into breakout rooms. So enjoy some spontaneous interaction and networking, and we will all see you back here in a few minutes.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Caitlin Peterson. I'm the editor-in-chief of Business of Home, and I am so thrilled to be with all of you. I'm also excited to be joined by Breegan Jane, an extraordinary Los Angeles designer, HGTV star, lifestyle expert, and philanthropist. Welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. We are telling silver lining stories tonight. You know, the small moments of joy, the good things we found during this sort of pandemic living we've all weathered together.
Absolutely.
What for you has been one of the best or biggest surprises to come out of this time?
You know, I walked out of my breakout room and it was so nice to connect with old friends. I really feel like there's been an exceptional amount of growth in our industry and a newfound appreciation for what we do. Like, we can't order fast enough, we can't work hard enough, and I do really appreciate that. I have noticed that I am a bit of a workaholic, and so in this time of quiet and silence, I really enjoyed being pushed professionally to meet the demands of the marketplace and to diversify in so many different ways.
What's a change you made or an experience you had that you want to keep when we kind of come out of this eventually?
I think for me, it was validation in who I was in the career path that I'm on. You know, I think that I've always enjoyed design, and having everyone and their mother and cousin crawl out and want to finally redo their kitchen, their living room, their space, really validated an art form that I've devoted my life to, that I really believe in, and I believe that affects all of us and all of our spirits. But then also, I think that I'm one of those people who guiltily would have told myself, like, you might need to slow down. You're doing too much. You're taking on too much. And in the year of the opportunity to pause, I wholeheartedly recognize that that's not in my DNA and bring it all on. And I think that we've all learned lessons of validation of self because there was nowhere to look but inward, right?
Totally. Well, you talked about sort of, well, first of all, the fact that everyone is thinking about their home differently. What kind of conversations are you having about home with your clients that are different maybe than the conversations you were having before?
I'm so grateful that functionality has overcome, you know, just plain old pretty, which I enjoy. But I think that a lot of times clients were less reciprocal to my personal questions and asks about use of space. You know what I mean? They're just like, make it pretty. And now everything is about, like, well, in this room, we do yoga, we wash our dog, we have our kid. And I'm like, great, like, that's how I can actually give you my talents.
Totally. Are people see that as kind of a long-term change that they want to bake into their home?
I think that the need for functionality and dual spaces has always been there for us as designers. And I think that it's finally reached the clientele in their ask from us. So it's an alignment that I think we've always been able to serve as professionals, but now the client's asking for it.
That's amazing. That's so good. You talked about, you know, finding validation in yourself too. What for you has been sort of what resonated in this time? What, when you look inward?
when I look inward, I recognize that our need to support each other is great. And I felt like I was in a position to lend my talents in a way that was meaningful to people instead of just, I can make pretty spaces. And not that I ever felt inferior for that sort of train of thought, but being an interior designer and being in this industry was always like, oh, well, that must be fun for those who support you, you know? And I
Totally.
felt a much deeper connection to like, no, I really care where your faucet is placed and how it affects your daily life. I am just that nerd. And I think that as people have had no reprieve from space, it's gotten back into what home is, what home means. That's what drives me. And pretty colors and textures help do that, but they ignite your spirit if you let them.
I think we can all agree it's a pretty exciting time to be a design nerd. And it's pretty amazing to have sort of the permission slip to embrace that in such a big way.
It is the silver linings.
Totally. Well, thank you so much, Bregan. And now everyone sit tight and we're going to head back into the breakout rooms.
Hello, everyone. I'm Erica Heat. I'm the editor-in-chief of Interiors. Welcome, and I hope you're having a lovely evening. It is time for Silver Linings Trivia, played for real prizes. There will be 5 questions asked, to which a multiple choice answer poll will track the audience's answers, and then we will give the correct one. All you have to do is write down the 5 correct answers on a piece of paper and bring it into the brand new 11 Ravens showroom located on the first floor of the PDC to collect your prize. And you can do it at any time. So to start us off with the first couple of questions, it is my pleasure to introduce the fabulous C. Zeta, Director of Business Development for 11 Ravens. Take it away, C.
Thank you, Erica. A silver lining for everyone in our industry has been that while the pandemic confined families to their homes for months, they've been thinking more about their spaces. Therefore, spending on home improvements has been stronger than ever. Home offices with technology for conferencing and schooling became a priority. The paucity of chances to dine out created the necessity or opportunity to cook more at home, and kitchen renovations have soared. The inability to travel turned the backyard into weekend and vacation space, leading to investments in decks, landscaping, gardens, and even pools. Likewise, this same desire to bring fun into the home has also created incredibly gaming and entertainment popularity. All of these, technology, kitchens, gaming, or outdoors, have received, oh, sorry, I'm messing up the question. So we're gonna ask a question next about these 4 categories. So out of all of these, technology, kitchens, gaming, or outdoors, which has received the largest increase in consumer spending since the pandemic? And we have about 15 seconds. You'll see the poll pop up. I'll just give you guys a couple more seconds to answer. Maybe you can nod when you're done. Okay, wonderful. So the correct answer is D, outdoors. And I think that's definitely makes a lot of sense, especially for us here in California. You know, it's all of the outdoor entertaining and lots of big backyards. And as Erica mentioned, I work for 11 Ravens. We are a multidisciplinary design firm and the latest addition to the Pacific Design Center. Our specialty is in game and entertainment furniture. And sorry, my volume. Game and entertainment furniture, pieces all custom and handmade in Los Angeles. We continue to expand and during the past year have been flooded with orders for our products, especially game tables, as families and friends look for safer ways to entertain at home. Which of these has been the most popular? Is it pool, flash billiards, ping pong, or shuffleboard? I'll give you 15 seconds again. You can give me a thumbs up when you're done if you like. Awesome. Yes, the answer is pool tables, one of the most popular, especially with our male clients, and a lot of really cool, bachelor pads and man caves. So When you're done with the all the rest of the questions, if you want to stop by our showroom, over the next months, and you'll have a prize for bringing in your answers. So thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you, C. And we're going to get to Ron and Jamie up next. But before we do, we're going to share a peek of the latest outdoor collections from Dedan. And here is a video of their spring product entitled Death Valley. Well, that was really beautifully done. Okay, now to present the remaining trivia questions, it is my great pleasure to introduce two amazing icons and very dear friends. Gorgeous, stylish, talented, the dynamic duo, Jamie Rummerfield and Ron Woodson of Woodson and Rummerfield's House of Design and founders of Save Iconic Architecture. Welcome, Ron and Jamie.
Hello, Erica.
It's great to see you.
Great to see everybody else on the call. As we've echoed what many of you have said, it's hard to be in this situation, but it's great to see your faces even in this, technological world that we're in right now, called Zoom.
Which we're masters of at this point.
Right. And one of our silver linings, and one that's near and dear to my heart, is inclusion and diversity in our fantastic industry. And what 2020 has really proven is this topic is being looked at more than ever before. When I started as an interior designer, I was pretty much it, especially in Los Angeles. And that is changing, and it's great to see. It's wonderful to have a broader perspective across the board in design, and that's, you know, more women of color, more men of color, and it just is going to enhance our industry even more. And so with that, I have a trivia question for you, and we'll see who gets it. And the question is, what is the percentage of all licensed architects and interior designers that identify as African American or Black? Is it A, 2%, B, 12%, or C, 18%? Do we have? Correct. The answer is A, 2%. And that's a really low number. And we're looking at lots of ways to increase that. And with everyone's help, we can all be inclusive.
Exactly. So here's our next trivia question. The PDC was designed by Cesar Pelli and Norma Merrick Sklarek. Which of the following is true about Norma? She was the first African-American female to be licensed in California. She was the first licensed African-American female architect in New York. Or C, she was the first Black woman to be recognized as an AIA fellow. And also, did you even know that there was a woman architect that worked on the PDC? I think that's a really important point as well.
Let alone African American.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people said C, and that is right, and A is right, and B is correct. These are all accolades of hers. And so that's really wonderful to know. And Norma is a luminary in my eyes. So with that, and women in architecture and design, that's another hot topic. And in 2017, which architect was posthumously awarded the AIA Gold Medal Award? Was it A, Julia Morgan, B, Norma Merrick Sklarek, or C, Paul Revere Williams? Most people guess C, Paul Revere Williams, and that is correct. He was awarded that in 2017. And Julia Morgan also, her award came out in 2014, so she was awarded that. And Norma's got the same award in 2019. So we're big fans, obviously, of Paul Williams, and I think a silver lining for us this year is we have spent a lot of time working and focusing on priorities that matter to us. And Ron is talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, which is critical to pay attention to, and to see more people like him in our field is really important, as well as celebrating artists who in diversity and design and architecture. And as co-founders of Save Iconic Architecture, we're big fans of Paul Williams, and slowly his legacy is somewhat being erased by demolition, and we're really championing his work and creating an initiative to help save what is left of many of his beautiful designs. And along with that is other beautiful properties in California and nationwide that need notoriety and celebration. So in the year to come, we hope to see you all at one of our Save Iconic Architecture events, and it'll be somewhere special that's very architecture driven, and we enjoy spending a lot of time in that realm of celebrating our community. And so with that, we have, I don't know, it's kind of a little tribute, I suppose. Speaking of icons, we're very saddened to lose our dear friend, Rocky LaFleur. And we, funny enough, wrote a poem 2 years ago at the celebration of Rocky, which was at the PDC, and it was a very fun party. And Rocky enjoyed that party so much, and I'm so glad that that happened. So thank you to the PDC. And they had asked a number of us to contribute to his tribute book. And this is the poem we wrote back in 2017, and we wanted to share it to you today because we think it still stands so true. So, dear Rocky LaFleur, you are a mentor, a teacher, a wealth of knowledge, and most of all, a friend. You cultivate inspiration, camaraderie, and bring out the best in most everyone. You challenge our community to strive for something greater and are willing to roll up your sleeves to do the same. In the words of Bette Midler, just remember, in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love, in the spring becomes the rose. That rose is you, Rocky LaFleur. Thank you for bringing so much beauty into our world. We miss you.
And thank you, Rocky, for all that you've given all of us. I mean, none of us can speak enough on what Rocky shared with every single one of us over the years.
Yeah. And so now we're going to go into some breakout rooms and spend some time with more friends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Bingham Dewart, and I am Luxe Interiors and Designs, Southern California and LA and Pacific Northwest Homes editor. And I have the great pleasure of introducing some great and fun guests for our Ask the Editor section segment. So I wanted to introduce you to our fellow editors. I'm joined by Erica Heat, who is actually an old friend and mentor of mine from our much, much younger days. And she's the editor-in-chief of Interiors. We also have joining us Caitlin Peterson, who is the editor-in-chief of Business of Home, whom we met just a little bit ago, and Jill Saraki, who is the managing editor of Gallery, who also made some cocktails for us a little while ago. So without further ado, we are here to answer your hot pressing editorial questions, or if you want to ask us what our favorite snacks are, just, feel free, just weigh in. We will bring our decades of expertise and wisdom to all of your questions. Oh, and sorry, I forgot to tell you, this was the most important thing and I totally forgot. I was too excited with the introductions. To ask a question, raise your hand by clicking the reactions tab at the bottom of your Zoom screen or opening the participants tab and clicking more. Either way, a notification that says raise hand will appear when it is time for you to ask your question. Our text will unmute you and you can direct it to one or all of us. So now we're all set. Take it away. Oh, look, it's Jennifer. I think Jennifer has a question, but she needs to unmute herself, or the text need to unmute her.
There we go. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer. It's great to see you all. It's great to be here. Okay, I guess I'm kicking off the questions here. Okay, so in these virtual times, everyone in the industry is relying on virtual connection and promotion now more than ever and have been. So the question is, what advice and guidelines or guidelines can you share with regards to designers who want to and have been wanting to promote and share their images and details about their current projects on social media and other platforms without jeopardizing their chances for their projects to be published by a magazine? Is there such a thing?
Who wants to field that one? That's a sensitive topic.
It is. Okay, I'll go. We believe in designers championing their own work, and the way we handle it is that as long as we have a dialogue going, you know, we're interested in publishing this project, you know, has it been, you know, out there at all? And designers are often, and architects are often so kind about offering to take posts down or hold things back. And we can usually work something out so that they can promote their work. Maybe we have, you know, there are a couple of images that we agree on that they can just push out there and save the rest for print.
Jill, how do you? I was say we take work that's been on Instagram. We're not publishing at Business of Home. We're not publishing full design projects. So for me, if it's been online, that's okay because it's more of kind of a companion piece to business advice. So it's always great to have a heads up and know where an image has been. I think that's really important, is to have that conversation. But for me, it's not something that would kill a story or change a story in any way.
And we tend to be a little bit more conscious about what has been put out there. So we tend to really like to get to see projects early. So Jackie and I very efficiently review projects so that we're not holding things for 6 months, a year, when that designer would like to have an opportunity to shop that project elsewhere or promote it on their site. So we tend to really like to sort of have a first crack at things before it then hits social media or a portfolio site.
And I think in this day and age too, designers have different projects kind of check different boxes for designers. So I think that there are some projects that folks end up thinking are more geared toward either getting web coverage or just doing it on their own on their Instagram. Or if it's, you know, if it's one of those projects that they've been working on for, you know, the better part of 5 years or something, and it's special in that way that they want to have it in more of a print platform. So I think there's, as Erica said, there's a dialogue, and I think folks are pretty savvy about what's the best spot for a particular project. Anyone else have any burning questions while you've got us? Oh, look, Jen Whitmer has a question for us. Unmute yourself, doll.
Okay, hi guys, hi.
Hi.
Okay, so I actually have a question. Bregan brought it up earlier when you were interviewing her, and she said that there was about functionality in the home, right? So she was talking about how for a designer, that's the way they've always designed. But how would that translate editorially or visually? I mean, you know, again, it's like she was talking about making it pretty or making it functional. So how does that work in your end of the spectrum? Or do we just hide that when it comes time for the photographs?
Well, I mean, we definitely, I think there's a lot of stuff that used to be ugly that's now pretty. With kind of, I'm thinking of like outdoor things. Heat lamps can now be disguised, and you know, the ways of disguising TVs so they're not just like there and a big, you know, void on a wall, that kind of thing. So I think that with design now and sort of advances in technology, you're not kind of sacrificing pretty for functionality as much as in times past.
For gallery, I mean, obviously with our strong emphasis on interiors that feature art, obviously pretty still holds a lot of sway with what we feature for an entire interiors project. But we did recently, right at the start of the pandemic, introduce a column called Curated, where we ask a lot of our friends in the design community to do a deep dive just on one space. So obviously at the start of the pandemic, we kicked it off with home offices, where they really look into the functionality of a space. Like, what is the furniture that works great here? What are the materials, the textiles? we're actually, the issue that just came out, we did outdoor. So we really look at the functionality for that. And obviously, yeah, exactly what you were saying, Lisa, products have come such a long way. Like even a faucet can be just an absolutely stunning piece of jewelry. We did a whole page story on someone who designs drawer pools. So all design has really gotten very smart and really creative in how they are solving problems while still maintaining a really excellent level of design.
Nice. And for us, we do tend to focus on a calm, clean, and beautiful aesthetic in the layouts, but we use the text to describe what's happening a lot in functionality. So we don't have to show like, here's this amazing wall that Holly Hunt created that's coming up in an issue that hides a huge screen TV that you would never ever know. It looks like a beautiful puzzle sculpture. And so we just described rather than showed, like a before and after, open and shut. We showed the beautiful aesthetic and then described what was happening in the text.
I think you all got it just right. I think too that the marriage of form and function is really that the pressure is still on to be beautiful. And I think the words just do a lot of the telling for the function piece.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. So Christy Nelson, it's good to see your face here. Take it away.
Hey, Lisa. Hi, Erica. So good to see you guys. I miss you. Hi, Jill. Hi, Caitlin. So I'm curious what you all think about Clubhouse and where design fits on that. And Caitlin, I caught the tail end of your marathon session that you did. So are all four of you? I know, Caitlin, obviously you are. No, Lisa, I'll send you an invite. Because it's like a rabbit hole in a whole other way, but I think it's a big opportunity for designers that is kind of still to be unleashed.
I think it's an interesting platform for designers because it's the first place designers have really flocked in earnest that isn't visual. You know, we all posted pictures on Facebook. We obviously all put pictures on Instagram, and Clubhouse is the first time where you really have to know what you're talking about and have something to say and jump into a conversation. And so I think that's a really exciting place to be. I think it's probably the most meaningful if you're looking for a community, whether it's to talk about the worst project you've ever had or the worst client you've ever had, or if you just want business advice. I think that's really the magic of Clubhouse, is connecting with people who are sort of in the trenches with you and can talk you through a problem or kind of open your mind to new solutions. So it's kind of like an old-fashioned call-in radio show in a way that's really exciting. And I think if you find, for me at least, if you find your tribe, if you find the people you like listening to, who you agree with, who approach design the same way you do, it can be really valuable and exciting. I don't know, is anyone else on Clubhouse?
So let's see. I think that we need to wrap up and head to our next breakout room. So thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you for your wonderful questions. And I'll see you around, hopefully in person and not too long.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica Heat, and I'm the editor-in-chief of Interiors Magazine. We're joined today by Roger Thomas, one of the world's most influential interior designers, the visionary behind iconic properties for Wynn Hotels and Resorts. As the Executive Vice President Emeritus of Design and Development, he's the founder of the Roger Thomas Collection of products available through a carefully curated group of manufacturing partners. He has recently released a collection of Venice-inspired passementerie to mark his 5th collaboration with Samuel & Sons. And Roger has recently been appointed to the Italian Board of Directors for Venetian Heritage, a nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving the region's rich cultural legacy. And on a personal note, Roger is a longtime supporter of Interiors Magazine, whose designs we have been delighted to publish over the years. Roger is coming to us from Venice, where he has been during lockdown. So we're excited to hear about that. Welcome, Roger.
Thank you, Erica. Nice to be here and great to see you.
So let's get started. Over the past year, we have all had some time to reflect. And what has that looked like for you? What has that time given you as far as a more enlightened perspective?
The year for me started at the Maastricht Fair I was attending with my husband, Arthur. And we knew that if we went on to Venice, which was our original plan, that we would probably be here for an extended period of time. And I'm delighted that we did. That resulted in a nearly 6-month stay. The beginning of it was one of grave concern for my colleagues at Wind Design and Development. I had retired just a few months before, and Todd Avery Lenahan was taking the helm at a time that turned into one of the most difficult and challenging in our industry's history, particularly in the hospitality design industry. As time progressed, I got involved with the things that I usually get involved with. I was powerless about doing anything about the conditions in Las Vegas. I was looking forward to launching my new collection with Samuel & Sons. I was in the middle of designing a large collection for Studio A. I was also working on new product for Quintus, a company I partner with Joby Blocky with in Los Angeles for Benchmade luxury furnishings. So I got busy, and that's the best way for me to survive any challenge, is to stay busy. I stayed in touch with everyone. I was as supportive as I could be from afar. It's a little difficult to feel terribly supportive when you're 9 hours ahead and on a different continent. But I stayed in touch with all of my friends and was as much a cheerleader as I could be.
Not to mention you were working on design projects all the while.
Right, right. I also had sold my home in Las Vegas. I replaced that with a new one that needed to be designed and built. I had begun a major remodeling to the California house that was mid-project, surrounded by scaffolding when COVID hit. And we had sold our apartment in Venice and bought a new one that was also mid-construction. So I was in the middle of making decisions, overseeing projects, Zooming with all of my construction teams, something new. I'd never Zoomed project oversee before, but it turned out well. All the projects are done, and I'm delighted with the results. So that proves it can be done.
And I imagine being in Venice, that must have been incredibly enlightening for you as you went through your design projects.
In the beginning in Venice, we were not allowed to go anywhere, but eventually we had to go to supermarkets. You had to go buy vegetables and meat and various things. And there was very strict protocol in place, which made me feel very safe. But Venice was empty. Venice is usually populated by tens of thousands of tourists. So the entire city slowed down. The air became crystalline clear. It was quiet. We heard the song of birds. We saw live marine life in the canals that we hadn't ever seen before. The sound of vaporetti and of motorboats was no longer with us. Every evening at 6 o'clock, one of the professional cornetists of La Fenice, the opera house near where we live, gave an impromptu concerto from his balcony that we enjoyed. And I started seeing things in Venice that I wasn't able to see before because the pace was slowed, and I could now look up without danger of tripping over anyone. So I discovered sculpture on the sidewall of houses, architectural details and balcony railings I'd never seen before, and that inspired a whole series of new drawings that I call capriccios, which were kind of a record of what was inspiring me during the days. I usually did one a day, sometimes one every 2 days, but It was a great exercise in appreciation for what was around me, for the beauty that I was living in.
Amazing. As we hopefully come out of this past year that has been so difficult for all of us, do you feel that there is a design renaissance coming from all of this?
I do think there's a design renaissance coming. I think that we as designers are constantly creating and solving problems. And I think that this COVID experience, this pandemic, has given us a new set of challenges that will definitely affect the way we live and work. I think that the great loss that we've gone through, many friends have passed in this year for me, and I've not been able to honor them in the way that I would like to. And I think that all of those challenges will point us in a direction of solving problems with creativity and by creating more beauty. I think if history is any lesson, and I like to think it is, that the Spanish flu created the Roaring Twenties. It was a time of great release. It was a time of a change in the way everyone lived. And it resulted in the invention of the modern way of life and modern design. It was a great renaissance and a period that's particularly dear to me, one that I collect deeply in. So I think that this great challenge will create a coming together in a new expression of solutions for a new way of life and a new creation of beauty, because designers can't help themselves. They move forward in making beauty. That's the way we solve problems.
Okay, everyone, on the subject of making beauty, let's move into the breakout rooms.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Phillips Badal. I'm the former editor of Interiors California magazine, also a frequent contributor to California Homes and to Lux. And I'm so pleased to be with you all in celebration of Westweek and shining a light on some of the new product introductions that we love. We also want to hear from you, the audience, so vote when the polls appear after each section. So we're going to start off with some fresh fabrics. So starting off, this is T-Balt's new spring collection. It's performance fabrics called soireè, which give a really sophisticated touch to your retreat. Our second slide, this is Holly Hunt's Precious Metals capsule collection. It's textiles, leather, and rugs that are inspired by the spirit, heritage, and craftsmanship of some of the world's most renowned jewelers. And this gorgeous piece is Kazumi Yoshida's enchanting artwork for Clarence House. It's a textile called Blooming Jungle, and that's available through Needler Faucher. So this is showing them all together. Question is, what fabric would you specify to inspire happiness and comfort? And we'll give you some time, as before, to answer. And I would say there's almost no right answer here, but I love that everyone chose that really colorful one too. So next we're gonna go to seating. This first slide is the Armstrong armchair. It has a solid brass frame, and that's from the Brooklyn-based furniture company KGBL, and that's available through David Sutherland. This is Mimi London's Ella Chase. It's made of reclaimed spruce, and it has this really, really sleek look. And this hanging chair is the Kita, designed by Stephen Burks, and it's wrapped in a special fiber touch. That's available at Daydon. Here's them all together. And which piece do you guys think requires the most manual labor to fabricate? And again, I almost feel like there's no wrong answer here, but I also answered number 3 because that was my guess for that gorgeous chair. So we're doing wall coverings now, and these have all personally blown me away. So the first one is Scalamandre's Soireè collection. It's all these embellished wall coverings. Then this one is the Katsura embroidered toile as a reimagined archival print. This is Aubrey's Garden of Eden in this fabulous Eid colorway with an Art Deco flair, and that's available through Thomas Lavin. And the last one is Icons by Arte, which reinterprets traditional elements like shagreen, leather, boule, metal, and rattan. Here's everything together again. So if you want to have a grand dining room, which one do you like the best? Which would you recommend? Oh man, I love seeing like a full range of answers to this. So thank you all for answering these questions. These are just really fun to see in all these new picks of things that are coming to the market. And I'm going to toss it back to Genevieve Trousdale. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Kelly, so much for showing us those beautiful new additions to our world. And guys, we couldn't host this party without doing a special toast to our dear friend, Rocky LaFleur. And to me, Rocky's name was indicative of exactly who he was to me. He was my rock over the past 2 decades to help me through every milestone of my career and all the details in between. So he is no doubt in spirit here with us tonight, and I would love to introduce Gina DeWitt, the president of Needler Fisher, and Lisette Meza, the board president of the ASID UCLA chapter.
Hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here tonight. My name is Lisette Meza. I'm the current chapter president of our local ASID UCLA Extension chapter, and had the wonderful pleasure of working with our dear Rocky as our community advisor, or as Rocky would say, I sit on the board as the icon. I can tell you all, Rocky was particularly excited about this year's Westweek as he was committed to honoring and making his dear friend Jeff Sampson proud. Rocky and Jeff both shared a passion for embracing emerging design professionals, and we're so proud of the work they did together. Now, as we kick off Westweek 2021, we dedicate this week to our dear friends, Rocky LaFleur and Jeff Sampson. Please join us on Thursday at 3 p.m. to honor Jeff's life, and I ask that we raise a glass now in honor of our dear friend, Rocky, who was a shining beacon of light for the industry, students, and the world. As we celebrate silver linings this year, let's celebrate the hope and optimism Rocky always brought to our lives. As we move forward, we will carry and honor his spirit, love, and energy for the rest of our lives. Let's take all the lessons and words he taught us and keep the spirit of Rocky LaFleur alive by making all these lessons true in our own lives every single day. Our emerging design professionals join you all in honoring his spirit and lessons, and we'll continue to build upon the incredible legacy that Rocky has already established as we all grow into design professionals. As Rocky would like to say when he was getting really excited about what was ahead, we have only just begun. To our beloved design icon, we toast to you, Rocky. We thank you, and we will celebrate you forever. Santé. I now introduce Gina DeWitt, president of Needler Fisher Showrooms, who will be sharing with us how we will be honoring Rocky's legacy in the coming months.
Thank you, Lisette. That was such a heartfelt, wonderful tribute to Rocky. Rocky's passing really came as a shock to all of us. I was with him the day he received his pancreatic cancer diagnosis, and I was with him 2 weeks to the day later when he transitioned. 2 very short weeks. I remain grateful that Rocky didn't have to suffer for weeks or months, and yet his too quick departure has left an abrupt hole for all of us. I think we can all agree there was no one quite like Rocky. Whether you knew him for decades or met him only once, chances are he made a lasting impact on your life. When I joined Nidla Fisher 17 years ago, I was new to the design industry. And arguably the greatest stroke of luck in my career, my desk was situated directly next to Rocky's at our Los Angeles showroom. We remained side by side for 17 years. And like hundreds of others, I can attribute much of my early knowledge of our industry to Rocky. Ron and Jamie, I think your poem really summed up Rocky so beautifully. He was generous, curious, present, involved, and was never too busy to lend a hand to anyone. I can't think of anyone more committed to the idea of community and bringing us all together. Rocky knew we are stronger together, and he lived those values each and every day. If you ever wondered how many people Rocky touched, I sent a letter to our clients the day Rocky passed away, sharing the news. And to this day, that letter has been opened just over 28,000 times. That was the power of Rocky. Before we raise a glass, I want to update everyone on just a few things in the works to honor him. First of all, we are planning a celebration of life, which will hopefully take place in the fall. This was Rocky's wish. He was really clear on this as I chatted with him the day before he passed away. That will take place in our showroom, and that will be an open invitation to the entire industry. I think that'll probably happen in October if it's safe. Secondly, we are working on a scholarship that will honor Rocky and will honor his students who he adored and respected and talked about with the whole team at Cedars on a daily basis. Third, Lori Weitzner, who is a wonderful textile designer based in New York. Many of you, I'm sure, know her. She has offered to create a book of stories that we all can share about Rocky. And I'll be sending a letter on that in a couple of weeks. That's an open invite to anybody who has, and I know we all do, a funny, Rocky story that just reminds you of him. Lori's going to put a book together that will be shared widely. On that note, I'd like to cheer our dear Rocky, who we love and miss. Cheers to you, Rocky. And next up, I'm introducing Inez Bellayuni.
Des yeux qui font baisser les miens, un rire qui se perd sur sa bouche. Voilà le portrait sans retouche de l'homme auquel j'appartiens. Quand il me prend dans ses bras, qu'il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, l'a juré pour la vie. Et que je l'aperçois, alors je sens en moi mon cœur qui bat. Merci.
Bravo.
Thank you, Inez. That was so beautiful. Gosh, that just sent chills up my spine. Thank you all for coming tonight. You can find us at circaphiles.com. request your key. And I'm just so thrilled that everyone showed up. And we're going to actually stay a little bit longer if anyone wants to share any sentiments about Rocky, and just, talk it out. It feels good. So thank you all. You can raise your hand if you'd like to come up to the stage and say anything, and share a story, or you can share it in the chat as well. Hi, Lizette.
Oh, that was such a beautiful tribute, and that was a perfect song. I like had visions of Paris and walking around, which is something that he loves so much. So beautiful. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Hi, Gina.
Hi, Genevieve. Thank you so much for hosting this and for allowing a little tribute to Rocky to be part of the evening. Really, really appreciate it.
Of course, of course. There's so much, as you said, so much more tributing to be done. And I just thank Needler and everyone at your showroom too for just being, kind of prepared and saying we're doing this in the fall, and getting people, okay, like we can have that time together. I think that was so just warmed my heart.
I wish we could do it now. If it wasn't for COVID, I'd be doing it in April. But we have to do it safely, of course. And but Rocky was really clear that he wanted it to be a celebration. He wanted it to be full of joy. And he said he wanted it at Needler. He said, because I said, maybe we can host it somewhere else that's like an even larger venue. And he said, no, Needler's been my home and I want it there. So it'll definitely be in the showroom, open to everybody. And it'll be crowded. So we want to make sure that it's safe when we do host it, but we're absolutely hosting that. I can't wait. We'll have many, many tributes to Rocky that night. And I think tonight was the first of many cheers to him over the course, the coming weeks and months for sure.
Absolutely. And Lizette, I know there's a bevy of students around you that have just, it's really, he has made such a legacy on the UCLA chapter.
He truly did. I mean, he just cared so much, and he loved everyone so much, and he really, really loved all of the design professionals. And I have emails where he would just say, they inspire me so much, and he would just talk about how all of the young, the young emerging professionals inspired him, gave him hope. And he was optimistic about the future. And he had such big visions as well for so many years. There were so many things he wanted to do and accomplish. And I'm really thankful that I was by his side for the last 3 as a student, listening to all of these things that he wanted to do for students and all of these visions and all of these plans. And we actually just had our first board meeting without him yesterday or on Sunday. That was that was only our second one because he couldn't attend in February, but he had previously been attending our monthly meetings, and we're already discussing as well how we are going to honor him by doing the work in the community and doing all of these things that he wanted us to do, because I know that nothing would have made him happier and more proud. And all of us students as well have received so much support from everyone in the community, from the Needler team. I mean, Gina and all of your team, Natalie, Ben, Mark, everyone has just, told us whatever you guys need, we're here to help. And then you as well, Genevieve, and Ron and Jamie, and everyone that we had been recently all working with or connected with in some way, everyone's ready to jump in and help carry the torch. And we absolutely will. We absolutely will carry the torch. And how I said in my speech is like really the best way I can describe it is the best way we can honor him is by truly living every single lesson and every single thing that he taught us in our daily life as we all grow together, and pass that on to anyone that we're mentoring or our kids or things like that. So Rocky used to say, I want to live forever, and I used to joke and say, you absolutely will, we'll make sure of it. So that's on us as well, to make sure he truly does live forever. And as well with Jeff as well, because I had the pleasure of working with both of them for the last 2 years on student initiatives. And I know they were both equally as excited and as optimistic for what students could do for the community. And I actually was just in communication with UCLA Extension earlier this week or last week, and there's communication about Jeff's family is working on establishing a scholarship fund for Jeff as well. So I'll make sure to keep everyone updated on anything from our student end as well. But we're really just proud to have, as students, there was all of our board, and I've seen them all in the chat, and we're all just proud to be here, and we're proud to be part of Westweek. And we truly wouldn't have been part of Westweek without Jeff and Rocky banding together and welcoming us in with open arms together, because this was their vision that they had. And they were really partners in crime. And I know Rocky, when Jeff passed, Rocky said, we did such good work together, and he was very proud of what they did together. And Rocky was determined to make him proud and keep his legacy going. So now all of us students are going to make sure that we keep both of their legacies going in the PDC and bring that student life into the PDC, because that's all they ever wanted.
Oh, thank you for all that you do. Jen or Jillian, do you guys have something to say?
Genevieve, I have to sign off, but thank you so much for hosting such a wonderful evening. Lisette, I'll see you Thursday.
Yes, see you soon.
Thank you, Gina.
I just knew that Ron and Jamie wanted to say something. I was going to see if they want to still say something, or else we have a special last song that actually has to do with their poem. So we just kind of wanted to add that too. So whenever you guys are ready.
Sure, I'd love to just share a little Rocky story.
Sure, yeah.
Was that I was really touched by what you had to say, and Rocky had a profound effect on me as well. And I'm hosting an event tomorrow called The Secret Life of Color, and I dedicate it to Rocky. But when I first met him, the very first time we were at lunch, and I was telling him about my color practice and showing him my color book, my paint collection. And all of a sudden he looks at me. First he picks his favorite color, which of course was like blood red. And then he looks at me and he said, oh, I wrote my high school thesis on the sex lives of spiders. And I had no idea what to say. I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know if he was pulling my leg. I just met him. So I'm just nodding and smiling, oh yes, that's great, And then about a year later, he brings up these spiders again. And I was like, okay, he's not pulling my leg. This is a thing. I need to look it up. And so I did. And apparently when male spiders are ready to mate, they emanate UV rays, and they shine a bright deep green and a white, but you can only see it under full spectrum light. And the female spiders also emanate this green, again with the full spectrum light. And so I was no closer. I just realized it was a thing. And I was sharing this with David Dalton and a few of Rocky's friends this past week. And all of a sudden I made the connection that I was telling him that my paint colors were full spectrum. And so I think in Rocky's mind, that was the connection. And it's taken me 3 years to get there. But that is as Rocky as it gets.
It truly does.
I'd say so. He inspired very deep thinking, that's for sure.
I think, we just are so happy to share kind of just the debriefing and discussion with friends and colleagues who loved him so much. And Jeff Sampson too, he was a beacon of light for many, and we know him for many years, and this has all been very tragic. And so thank you for sharing this time with us. We really appreciate it. And that's all. That's it.
Thank you all.
One Rocky story that was constant over the years. I don't care where we were or what we were doing or what the event was. If he saw me from across the room even, we would make our way to one another, and he would either hold my hand and walk me through the event or hang on to my arm. And he'd say, let's go here, let's go there. And, I'm going to miss that. I mean, even at his event where he was honored as an icon, which he was, that night he grabbed my hand with hundreds of people there, and that's just one of the stories that I will always hold dear. No matter where we were, he was gonna hold my hand and grab my arm.
He always focuses in on people and just makes them feel like they're the only person in the room.
Exactly.
It was always like that for me too. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna just send everyone off. Thank you again so much for sharing and being here. And my drink is now empty. Cheers to Westweek, everyone.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say